Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to create a card using an Altenew Mini Delight set that is brand new for this month. It's called Proud Amaryllis, and it has some sentiments in here that kind of confused me a bit. One of them says, "Don't stop until you're," another one says, "You make me," and then the other one says, "Be." And I kept thinking, oh, these kind of don't make sense, but flip over your die set because it will make sense then. There is a die that says proud. So you would add the die cut proud to your sentiments, which we love to do. And so it would make complete sense. And I just love this. So you have a die that says proud, the coordinating die that will cut out your proud amaryllis, and 3 customizable sentiments. So a lot packed in this little mini delight set. There is a Mini Delight set subscription from Altenew where there's a discount, but then it's also sold separately in lots of different stores too, guys. So let's make a card. We're going to stamp our Amaryllis with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I had to Google it to see what colors they are, and they're really rosy colors. And so that's what we're going to do today. I stamped 2 of them, and we're going to zoom in, play a little music, and I will color in my flower, and when I'm done coloring, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done. I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating die and line it up. I'm going to grab some tape and we'll tape it down. This way it doesn't shift. And then while we're die cutting, I'm also going to bring in the cover grid die. This is a really nice background die that's A2 in size, and it creates a grid kind of panel. And I think that's going to make a nice background for my card today. I'm going to finish off my card using my my flowers with my white gel pen, just highlighting the little seeds from the stamens or the center of the flowers. It just makes them pop a little bit, and sometimes my white gel pen takes a little time to dry, so I figured we'll do this first and set this aside. In the meantime, I wanted to do an ink blended background to go behind my grid panel that we created. So I'm going to bring in some Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock and then my Altenew craft mat here. This is pretty inexpensive craft mat, guys. I'll link it down below, and it's great for cleaning up messies. The 2 inks that I'm going to use are Distress Oxide inks. The first one here is the lighter of the 2 that I'm going to be using, and it is called Victorian Velvet. It's a really pretty pinkish color, and it goes really good with aged mahogany, which is the color that I'm using now. I'm just blending both of these together, and I have my flowers right next to me, and I'm trying to coordinate the colors of the background with my flowers, and it's pretty close, but I think I need a little more pink, so I'm going to ink blend a little bit of picked raspberry on my background. So bottom is aged mahogany, which kind of doesn't go with my flower. We might have to trim that off, but then we have picked raspberry and then Victorian velvet we'll bring in at the very top here. When I trim my panel out, I do want a little bit of the white area showing, but I don't want it to be just a straight line. So I'm kind of angling it just a little bit. I'm going to bring in my spray bottle and we're going to add some splatter to our background panel. We'll let this oxidize and then we'll just tap off the excess here. And I'm loving the way this looks. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and we're going to trim off some of the area from the top of our panel, leaving some of that white, and then we're going to basically trim off a little bit from the bottom. It ends up being about 3/4 of an inch. So I have a 3-inch strip of that oxide panel along with my grid paper here that we just trimmed. I went ahead and adhered my grid paper to my background panel, and I thought we would make a landscape style card today. So let's add some foam adhesive behind this. And then you can see that my grid, I think I mentioned that it was 3 inches. My grid paper is a little bit longer than that, so it's overhanging. I just like something outside the usual. Sometimes it's nice to do that. And it adds a lot of texture to your background. We're going to add foam adhesive behind our florals also. And then next we're going to finish off our sentiment. I have that extra piece with the Victorian velvet on the bottom. I'm going to actually use that to die cut out the word proud. I'm going to line it up on this strip and then we'll run this through the die cutting machine. Now next I'm going to take a piece of vellum and we're going to do a little bit of heat embossing with the rest of the sentiment on vellum. So I'm going to stamp. Well, let's adhere this to our card paper. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's remove the release paper, add this to our card base, and I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to lift it up about 1/2 of an inch, maybe about 1/3 of an inch. Okay, and then we'll bring in our stamp set. The rest of the sentiment, I'm going to put, we'll stamp, there's 3 again. You have the B, the don't stop until your, and then you also have you make me. And I thought we'd stamp you make me proud. So we'll adhere our proud, bring in some Versamark ink. We're going to have to lower this just a little bit. Using the grid lines on your mat helps out lining up your sentiment also. And yeah, we'll take the you make me, stamp it with Versamark ink. I went over it with white embossing powder and then melted it, so our sentiment's good to go. Love how soft this is. I'm not sure if it's going to show up in the background or not, so we might change this, but I'm going to arrange my flowers, and they're a little bit going to be overhanging on the rest of my vellum circle here. And I think we're going to go ahead and change out the white sentiment for a black heat embossed sentiment. What I did was just stamp it with VersaFine Onyx Black ink, go over it with clear embossing powder, and then melted this. And so it's not a stark black sentiment, it's kind of like a smoky gray, I would say. It goes really good with the flowers. And I think this is going to stand out a little bit better on our card base. Let's adhere our vellum, kind of tucking it under our flower there. And that worked out great. We'll add our second flower just above it, and then we'll finish off our Proud Amaryllis with a few gems, giving it a little bit of sparkle. That finishes off my card today, guys. My project today is part of an Instagram hop that Altenew is having. I hope you can join in. There's a giveaway to go with it too. Details for that are over on my blog if you want to check it out, or check out the Altenew's Instagram page at Altenew LLC, and then it'll take you to the beginning of the hop, which is always nice. Have a great day. We will see you again real soon, guys. Bye-bye.